She was able to talk to her dead brother, and he told her unforgettable things. Lily was a sheltered kid. She never had a lot of freedom, but it wasn't really her parents' fault though. Before Lily was born, they had another kid, Jacob. Jacob ended up going missing. He was only 9 years old. They never found his body, so Lily thinks a little part of them always hoped he was still alive. Of course, Lily never met him, but she remembers ever since she was little, she felt this weird connection to him. Her parents used to tell her that she'd scare the hell out of them when she was younger because she kept on talking to this one particular corner in her closet. Whenever they'd ask her who she was talking to, she would just say, "Big brother." The first time she remembers him talking to her, she was around 5 years old. She was coloring some picture in the playroom, and then suddenly she could hear Jacob's voice. "What are you drawing?" he asked her. "It's a forest with fairies and a rainbow and a baby deer." He scoffed. "That doesn't even look like a real forest. To draw nature, you gotta be in nature. Here, come with me." She felt a chill as if Jacob's cold, icy hands clutched her wrist, compelling her to follow him outside with the little shovel she used to help her mom in the garden. "Dig right here," his voice instructed, and she obliged. She found the usual bugs, rocks, roots, but she also dug up something else. It was a backpack. Lily thinks it used to be red. It felt heavy and there was definitely something in it, but the zipper was so rusted she couldn't get it open. Suddenly, Lily heard her mother's panicked voice calling, "Lily!" Her mother saw her outside and she felt a push as if Jacob quickly took the bag from her. "Oh my goodness, don't run off like that alone." "I wasn't alone," Lily protested, looking back to see nothing. Jacob had disappeared. Her mother dragged her back inside by the collar of her dress and put her in her room. "Stay here and don't go outside like that again," her mother firmly insisted. Lily never really liked her bedroom. She never felt entirely alone, and there was a certain amount of bad energy that she could just feel. She especially hated the closet. Suddenly, Jacob appeared behind her. He looked where she had been staring, right at the closet. "You're scared of over there, huh, little sister?" He glanced back at her and then back at the closet. "Sometimes you need to face your fears," he said, and very slowly paced towards the closet, then opened it in one swift movement. "Go in," he said. Lily shut her eyes and stepped in, and to her surprise, he shut the door behind her, leaving her in the scary dark closet alone. Lily then cried out for him, but he didn't respond. The feeling of dread was overpowering for her. She felt so alone. It was too quiet, like there was someone else staying quiet in the closet with her, watching her. Then whispers started soft and insistent, calling her name, Jacob's voice among them, telling her not to leave the closet. She was frozen, too scared to move, as if the whispers glued her to that spot. To comfort herself, she began tapping on the closet walls. One section, though, she noticed sounded different than the rest of the wall, like it was hollow. Eventually, though, her mom called her down for dinner, and the familiar voice helped her shake off the fear, giving her the courage to finally stand up and push the door open. Jacob wasn't there anymore. Nobody was. At dinner, Lily couldn't help but mention Jacob, talking about the whispers and the presence she felt in the closet. "He was there in the closet with me," she insisted. Her parents quickly exchanged worried glances, their faces turning pale. Her parents told her to stop talking about Jacob, and she listened, keeping silent about him. The next few years passed quietly, and the memories faded, until she was almost 8. While seated at her dad's computer one quiet afternoon, Lily was jolted by Jacob's voice. He told her to Google Jacob Plum missing. "That's you," she remembers saying. She clicked on the first article she found. Jacob Plum, aged 9, went missing from his Utah home on March 12, 2003. He leaves without a trace, the only thing missing from his room being his school backpack. He was not seen leaving the house and was not seen by anybody after he left school. "School backpack," she said, "like the one we found together?" Without a word, the old rusted backpack appeared next to her, as well as a pair of scissors. "Cut it open, Lily, please," he urged. She obliged, and inside the backpack that she had found years ago was everything. Jacob Plum passport, Jacob Plum birth certificate. Anything that could have identified him was in that bag. But why was it buried buried in their backyard. She began to think about everything. Her mom and dad rarely let her outside alone. The backpack was buried outside with everything in it, and Jacob was never seen leaving the house. The hollow wall in the closet. She sensed Jacob knew that she had uncovered something, as if he was guiding her. Now being drawn by him to the garage, she found a large hammer in the center of the floor. She picked it up instinctively and heard Jacob say, "Go to your closet. Now, Lily, you know what to do." Now with tears in her eyes, she took the hammer and ran up to her closet. She approached shaking to the door that held her biggest fear for so long. She then found the hollow corner of the closet and let the hammer loose on it. After a bit of work with one last strike, the wall finally gave way, exposing the grim secret it held: Jacob's body. Jacob's official cause of death was starvation, meaning he was still alive when their parents put him in there. After that, she never saw her mom and dad again. After that day, she never saw Jacob again either. The last time she saw him, she was in the back of a police car being taken to a temporary foster home until they could find a relative who would take her in. As she is being driven away, she feels the urge to look back at her house, at her window, only to see Jacob. Then he waved goodbye at her, and she gave him a small smile and waved back. He returned the smile. Maybe he could never leave that place, but he sure made sure that she could.